All right, so this is why I love Audible, and this is one of the reasons why I love taking road trips, because road trips allow me to sit in my car and listen to books. I'll admit this book has been out for a while. Ibi Zoboi'S, I'm actually playing catch up with her because she has released at least 3 to 4 books I have not read yet, and this is one of them. I said this before, I will say this again. When Marvel comes to you and asks you to write a book about one of their legendary characters, that is GOAT level. That is, you are awesome sauce. That's goals for me, and I need to step up my writing game. So for those who don't know, Nick Stone has a whole series on Shuri. Jason Reynolds has 2 books on Miles Morales, and I feel like it's someone else I'm missing, but I cannot recall right now. Oh, Tiffany D. Jackson, who I've done a video on that one, is in my phone somewhere. Tiffany D. Jackson did Storm. So Okoye, and I feel like I'm saying it wrong, and I'm not. So for those who know Okoye was one of, I never can say, but you know what I'm saying, the ones who protected the king, and they have been asked to come to America, like an ambassador trip, to come learn more about our culture, because we feel like we can help out your country. And it's not America, it's a private corporation. We know how a lot of private corporations operate. So immediately when Okoye sees a young lady who is part of this, No Nation Left Behind is the name. I can go so many different ways with this, but I'm not. I'm gonna stick to what I'm gonna come on here to do. So No Nation Left Behind is the name of the organization, and they supposedly go into poor nations and help them be their better selves. They go into poor neighborhoods and help them be them better selves. Okay, Okoye immediately feels like this. Why are we here? Because she has to learn how to eat from the I remember her leader, Anika, they have to sit at the table. They have to dress certain way. She had to walk around in high heels. Certain dresses, they have to wear wigs to cover their tattooed heads. And she's not feeling this already. And they have to come off that they're models who are going to school coming with the king. They can't come off that they are protectors. They can't come off that they've been hiding Wakanda. And it's King T'Chaka, who's T'Challa's father. So he can't come off like, we don't need your help. But his thing is, his premise, which I found out later on, No Nation Left Behind, or NNLBs, what they call themselves, will give us the affordability to go in different nations and help them on their dime. Because if we spend our money, then we disrupt the stereotype that we're this poor African nation. Okay, Okoye, immediately when she meets Stella, who's a part of NNLB, immediately detects something right here. And while they're at the welcoming reception, which is along with Wakanda and several other nations and world leaders and politicians and whatnot, there's this lady named Lucinda, and I feel like I'm saying her name wrong too, and I apologize, y'all. Y'all don't know why it is. I forget names, but I digress. So Lucinda immediately wants to bond with Okoye because she is black, and she figures we got to stick together, and this is all hogwash. But Okoye is not feeling it because, number one, I don't shouldn't have bond with you because I'm black. But what turns her attention towards Lucinda and just want to know more about her and her story is they get invited to Lucinda's opening of a huge, I want to say it was a community center. And the kids come around the corner, the band excited to play, and they're disappointed because Lucinda, who was a councilwoman, had promised all these people, all these city leaders who would be there, and they're going to help fund this project, and none of them show up. So Lucinda has this huge community building, and she doesn't have the resources she needs because she refused to take NNLB's money. Nevertheless, Okoye is still like trying to figure out what to do and what to believe, but she finds herself going back to Brownsville to find out what's going on, to find out why Lucinda can't get the help that she needs, who really is in NLB. And I'll admit there's a certain part in the story I'm just like, y'all, just get to the end. But I get what they were doing. They were trying to build there's going to be resistance. There's going to be protests. We can't let this keep happening to our neighborhood. We can't keep let them coming to our neighborhoods and burn them down, literally. And you will see what is causing the cities to be burned down, what is causing the kids to do what they do. It's so many similarities to what happened to the crack epidemic that's happening in these neighborhoods. Okoye also has to battle the king's disillusioned. He doesn't feel like there's nothing wrong with Stella. She's good people, and we need her to travel to all these different countries. Matter of fact, they said at the I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. But I know it was the hotel that was in Coming to America. Very expensive hotel. That's where they were staying. They were transported in very expensive transportation. And even to the point they were sent to a Broadway play, all on No Nation Left Behind. So I think you should read it. Very suspenseful. It got to the point where I could not stop listening to it because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. How was Okoye going to combat Anika telling her, this is none of your business. This is none of your business. We have nothing. We're over here to be with the king. And when it's time to leave, we're going. So having to combat everyone telling you that there's nothing wrong while you know deep inside of you something is wrong.